How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korriban Sabers, and today I am going to be showing you how to update your soundboard. Okay, so you can also use this method to go ahead and add sound fonts, change your blade styles and all that kind of stuff. So I am unable to showcase every single saber, but for the most part the disassembly is going to be pretty standard. Okay, if you're getting a simple hilt like our Darth Revan one, all you have to do is unscrew the center of the hilt, and that's pretty much it. You can access your SD card from here and the battery. Be sure to remove the battery before taking out the SD card. So this is one of the easier sabers to disassemble. So for today's video demo, I'm going to be showcasing how to update your soundboard on our Obi-Wan Xenopixel model over here. Okay, so let us go ahead and disassemble this saber first. Okay, first thing you'll need is obviously the saber. Next thing you'll need is an Allen key or something to help you unscrew. All of this should come included with your package. You will also need this, a micro USB card reader, in order to plug in your SD card into the computer. So first things first, unscrew the middle of the saber. Okay, most of the sabers, or almost all of our sabers, should be able to be unscrewed from the middle. So unscrew this here, and you can see this. If I unscrew this here as well, you don't really need to unscrew the bottom part, but I'm just going to do it to show. You can see here it's locked. Okay, the whole chassis is locked. You cannot take it out, which means you need to unscrew more parts. So for our Obi-Wan saber, there are two screws here in the form of greeblies. So let's unscrew this first one. Okay, set that aside, and this second one here, don't need to screw them in too tight, or it's going to be very hard for you to take them out as well. Screw that. Okay, and then you want to slide out the clamp card over here. Let's put this down here, and then let's unscrew this using the provided tool. You want to do this on a flat surface so you don't lose your screws. Almost did there. Okay, then there are two more set screws here which you can unscrew. One. Okay, and then we'll unscrew the other one. I didn't even bother taking this tool out of its packaging. You can if you want to, it doesn't matter. I can still use it like this. Okay, and then oops, this top one needs to be unscrewed a bit more. Okay, and you should be able to take this part out. Okay, before you do anything, make sure your saber is turned off. I forgot that. So let us go ahead and turn off the saber over here. So you just press and hold for 10 seconds. So yeah, you want to make sure your saber is off before you start disassembling. This was a mistake on my part, but before you take out the battery or the SD card, as long as you power off your saber, you're good to go. Okay, you can slide this part out. And if your chassis is still not coming out, do not force it, simply because there is no need to use force. It should come out pretty easily, and the reason why it's still stuck is probably because there are still screws that you have not undone. So there are still two more screws at the back here, which I'm going to undo them in order to access and pull out the entire chassis. Alright, so you do not need to use any force required to remove the chassis from your saber. Okay, if something is not budging, double check all of the nooks and crannies. You probably missed out a screw or two. Okay, so set that aside. The longer one goes on top and the shorter one goes at the bottom. Okay, you always want to remember which set screw is for which hole. You don't want to mess them up because not all of the set screws are of the same size. And if you put them back differently, then you might end up damaging your saber. Okay, so now that all the screws are removed, you should be able to slide this out pretty easily. And there you have it, the core of the Obi-Wan lightsaber. So next step, you want to use something to take out the battery. Alright, let me see if I have something here. Give me a moment. Okay, so the battery is usually stuck in there pretty tight, and of course this is a good thing, but in order to get it out, it's going to be a hassle. Okay, you can use a flathead screwdriver or a plastic pick or whatever to go ahead and remove this. It's ideal to use something that is plastic, but because our batteries are all PCB protected, it doesn't really matter even if you use something that's metal like a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so just carefully pry it out here. There we go. Okay, so battery out. Now that the battery is out, let me move the camera over here. okay, to my PC. Alright, and now we are going to remove the SD card. The SD card, okay, you can try removing it with your fingernails if you have fingernails. I don't have any fingernails, so I'm going to be using a tool to help me. You can use either needle nose pliers or you can use a pair of tweezers. Okay, be very gentle. You don't want to force it or rush it. So just grip it firmly but tightly. Firmly but gently, okay, and then just pull it out. Okay, you shouldn't really need any force to do that. Now once the SD card is out, go ahead and add that. Put that into your micro USB, into your SD card reader over here. Okay, so always remember the picture side or the blue side of the SD card, okay, always faces the picture side of the SD card reader. So slide that in. Okay, now it's in there. We will uncap this and then we can put this into our PC. Make sure it's properly seated. Okay, now we can stick this into our PC over here. Okay, hear the sound. Okay, and now we'll switch over to my PC screen so you guys can see a little bit better. So over here on our PC screen, once you plug in your SD card reader, you can go ahead and open up the drive that are containing your Saber files. Okay, so there are 3 updates that you need to do if I haven't already done them for you. Currently, as of this video, which is 25th July 2022, more updates may be released in the future and you may need to do them. Okay, so I'll be sending you guys the files via email, and along with it will be clear instructions on how to perform the updates. So the first 3 updates over here, what you want to do is create new folders on your desktop, unzip them into their specific folders. Do not mix them up, otherwise you're going to have a really hard time. Okay, so create 3 new specific folders for each of them, 1, 2, 3, and you want to do the updates in order. So we'll start with update 1. So once you unzip everything, this is what you will be getting. So you can see here the instructions are over here. Let's go ahead and follow the instructions that I have included for you guys, okay, to go ahead and update our Saber. So step 1, ensure Saber is off. Unscrew Saber and remove battery from Saber. If stuck, use a flathead screwdriver to carefully pry out the battery. Step 2, remove SD card carefully from soundboard using fingernails, tweezers, or needle nose pliers. Step 3, insert SD card into SD card reader and plug it into PC. Picture sound SD card facing text side of reader. Step 4, open up the USB drive folder. Step 5, open up the set folder. So this is the SD card for my Saber. I'm going to open up the set folder here. Should be the very last one. And then next step, okay, step 6, delete the config.ini file. So you can see here, it's a config.ini file over here. You are going to delete this, okay? Yes. Once that is deleted, alright. Now what you want to do is copy and replace the update.bin folder in the set folder with the one provided here. So I have provided an update.bin file over here inside of update 1. So you want to copy, and then you want to right click, click paste, okay, replace. And there we go. Alright, so once you've done that, you want to safely remove the SD card from PC in order to prevent or minimize corruption. Okay, so I'm going to close this here. Over here, let us go ahead, right click, eject USB device. There we go, safe to remove. Plug this out. Okay, and then next step, you want to insert the SD card back into the soundboard. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys here on this camera of mine. Let me go ahead and grab the core. Where's the core? There we go. So grab the core over here, the core of the Saber, and then we are going to insert back our SD card. The same way that you took it out is the same way that you are going to put it back in. So you don't need tweezers or anything for this. You can just use your hands to go ahead and plug this in. Make sure it is fully seated all the way back there. Once that is done, you want to pop your battery back in to the Saber. Okay, so here I have the battery, and always remember the button top, okay, facing away from the speaker side. Alright, if you place it in properly, it might cause a short. And you can hear you'll say upgrade start and then upgrade success once it's done. Okay, so once that is done, okay, you can see a sound notification once update is complete. Repeat steps 1 to 5. So ensure Saber is off, blah blah blah. Take out everything, take out the SD card again. So I'm going to remove the battery first, and then I will be removing the SD card again. Okay, so let me go ahead and take out the battery over here. Going to do it, not sure if you guys can see, maybe I'll do it off camera. Okay, battery out. Now let's take out the SD card again. Using our needle nose pliers very carefully. Pull it out. It's a bit hard to do this on camera, so pardon me. Okay, insert it back into the SD card reader. Picture side facing text side of reader. Ensure it's fully seated. Plug this back into our computer. Okay, and now the next step for update 1, you want to copy and replace all files in the set folder with the files in the set folder provided. So you want to open up the set folder here, and then you want to select every single file here, right click, click copy, go to your SD card, click on set, go inside, right click, paste, and then replace all the files in the destination over here. Alright, the next step, you want to copy and replace folders 2 and 23 provided. So let us back out over here. Okay, so here we have folders 2 and folders 23. Inside of update 1, I have folders 2 and 23 as well. So you are going to select both of them, right click, click copy, and then right click, click paste. Okay, and you want to replace all the files here. And once that is done, you can close this, and then eject. Alright, pull out the SD card reader again. So the steps are going to be mostly the same for performing all of the different updates. Add this back to your saber, and then put back the battery, button side away from the speaker. Okay, there will be no sound notification for this one. Okay, once that is done, you want to power on your saber, make sure everything is working well. Okay, so it can turn on, that's good. Okay, so you want to turn it off again, just to make sure everything is working fine before you proceed on to the next update. Alright, so saber is power off now. Let's go ahead and take out the battery again. Alright, so that's pretty much update 1 complete. Now we are moving on to update 2. Okay, take out the battery, take out the SD card here, plug this into our PC, and then now for update 2. So update 2 has its own set of instructions. Make sure to follow all the instructions carefully. Any missteps may result in problems. So it's all going to be the same. Alright, open up set folder, copy and replace the update.bin folder in the set folder with the one provided here. So for the second update, it's a bit easier, lesser steps. All you have to do is copy the update.bin folder here, open up your set folder on your SD card, right click, click paste, and then replace the file. There we go, close everything. Eject safely to minimize corruption. Unplug this. Put this back into your saber. Okay, put the battery back.
Upgrade. Stop. Upgrade. Success.
So here that sound notification, update success. Okay, now that that's done, that is your update 2 complete. And now for the last one. So everything is going to be the same. Take out your battery again. Okay, take out the SD card. If you guys are getting any sound fonts, additional sound fonts from me while you purchase your saber, I will do all the updates for you as well as help you add the sound fonts to your SD card free of charge. Okay, so if you want to do that, make sure you purchase it with your saber. Add this in. Insert this into our PC. Okay, and now for the last update, update 3. Okay, so update 3, again, we have slightly different instructions. Open it up, everything the same. Now, you want to copy and replace the set folder with the one provided. So we want to right click copy on the set folder that's provided here, and then right click paste. So I'm going to replace all the files with the same name. And there we go. So close everything. Eject safely. SD card, pop it back into the Saber. Pop the battery back into the Saber.
Upgrade. Stop.
Once again, the sound notification.
Upgrade. Success.
So there we go. Okay, so that is how you perform all 3 updates. Now let's reassemble this thing. Now, in order to make changes to your blade fonts, blade colors, or blade styles through the SD card, you want to go to the set folder, and then from the set folder, you want to locate the config.ini file, and then you want to open it. Just open it with Notepad, and you will be able to see this over here, and this is where you can make your changes. So the first thing that you can change over here is the pixel number. 132 is the default for a 92 cm aka 36 inch long blade. If your blade is 82 cm, you can change this to 122 or 124. Okay, subpixel number, this is for crossguard and double bladed lightsabers. You don't need to change this unless you have a crossguard saber. Power on and power off time, you can see, you can go ahead and change how long it takes for the saber to power on and how long you need to press the power button to power off the saber. By default, it's 2 seconds for power on and 10 seconds for power off. Pre-on times, you can set the pre-on times here. They are all in milliseconds. Over here, usually I don't change these. Okay, there is an override over here. I didn't change this as well. Sub blade delay, this is for crossguard saber, so you don't have to touch it unless you're getting the Kylo Ren saber from us. Channel volume max, the max is 16,000, default is 8,000. Okay, this has been set to 7,500 by default. I will not advise changing this. Next up, mixer volume. Okay, default is 1,900. Anything over 4,500 has a good chance of destroying your speaker, so do not go ahead and change this number above 4,500 or any of the numbers above their max numbers. Okay, so for my configuration, I have this set to 7,500. And all of your sabers, if you have performed update 3, then it should come with this set of configurations as well. I have configured everything for you guys. Okay, sensitivity of clash, so the smaller your number, the lesser strength you need to go ahead and activate the clash, and then the bigger the number, the harder you're going to have to hit the saber for it to activate the clash effect. So I have it set to 1.5. You can go in variants of 0.5, so you can go up by 0.5, you can go down by 0.5, and you can keep going until you're satisfied with the clash sensitivity that you want. Pulling stabbing, okay, so stab power on. When you do this motion, okay, the saber will power on, or if you do this motion, the saber will power off. So by default, the stab is power on, stab is power off by default, because usually when your saber is on, you might want to do some stabbing motions. That's why stab power off is off by default. Twist power on, okay, I have this turned off. If you want to, you can turn this on, but because twisting is also used to activate music tracks, I think it's better to just turn off the twist power on. Twist power off, however, is turned on, so you can twist the saber when it's on to turn it off, and then you can adjust the sensitivity of the twist as well. Minimum is 60. Okay, I have it set to 400, and I think this is the perfect number. Swing power on and swing power off. Okay, so 1 is on and 0 is obviously off. So swing power on when you swing the saber, whether or not it can turn on like that. I have it turned on by default. Sensitivity of swing, again, this has been set to 400. And last but not least, the very exciting blade profiles. Okay, so your saber will come with 34 different soundtracks if you're getting the Xenopixel saber from us. If you add on more, then you want to copy paste more lines at the bottom depending on how many tracks you have, and then change the numbers to make it go in ascending order in order for everything to work. So the first 3 numbers here is your R, G, and B values. So first one is red, second one is green, third one is blue. You can mix and match, change different numbers, any number or any decimal from 0 to 255. Okay, you can take a look at it in any of the color pickers online to decide which is the best color that you want for your saber. Okay, the next up is the light effect of each font. Okay, so basically your blade style 0 for fire blade. For your steady, which is your regular blade, is going to be 1. Pulse blade is going to be 2. Pulse is a little bit hard to see on camera, but it is and real life as well, but you know, you have to really look quite closely in order to see it. Rainbow blade is 3, candy blade is 4, unstable blade is 5. Unstable is when the blade is just, you know, flashing and basically seizure warning, okay? You're someone who is susceptible to seizures. I would not recommend you to use unstable blade. Cracked blade is 6. It means that the blade will flash white at certain parts, okay? The next number over here is the pre-on and is the power on and power off timings. Usually I don't change this, but you can change it if you want to. And then the last number here is the style of each font. So the first one is your standard blade. Okay, second one is blast. Okay, if number 1 is blaster blade. Blaster blade means that there is going to be no light at the blade. When you press the button, okay, a beam will shoot up. So similar to a blaster. Number 2 is ghost blade, so the blade will only light up when you move the blade. When the blade is still, there will be no lights at all. And then you have your special pre-ons, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, your warp ignition, broker ignition, all that kind of stuff. You can see more of that in our Xenopixel showcase video. The card will be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. And that is how you change your blade profile. So after that, you can just save the file and close it and eject the SD card safely from your computer, and that is basically how you do it. You can also pre-program the saber in real time using your using the button on the saber without touching the SD card, or that's also completely possible. Okay, but that's only possible for changing the blade fonts and the blade styles as well as the blade colors. Stuff like pre-on timings, stuff like your motion sensitivity, all that you'll need to access the SD card and put it in the computer for you to be able to change those. Okay. So now that we have our core, let us go ahead and reassemble everything. So you see this middle section here, there's a big hole here that should line up with this switch. And one little tip is to press the switch down before you slide this in. Okay, make sure the switch is depressed all the way. That's going to help in the later part of the installation as well. Okay, so once this is back in, you can screw back the back pommel. Okay, next you want to screw back these 2 screws at the back here. Remember, the top one goes on top, the shorter one goes at the bottom. Now, one tip that I can give you guys is you do not want to over tighten this. If you do, you're going to face trouble installing the clamp card later on. Okay, and your saber is you're probably not going to be pressing the buttons on your saber very well if you over tighten this. So you just want to, you know, go all the way until this screw is flat inside here. Okay, if you over tighten this, then yeah, you're going to run into problems. Okay, 90% of the problems that you are going to face later on is going to come if you over tighten these 2 screws. So very, very important, make sure you don't over tighten them. Okay, the moment you feel any resistance, stop tightening. Okay, as long as they are seated flush, it is good enough. Okay, so now let us go ahead and slide this piece back on. Okay, and then we can screw on our 2 greeblies over here. Okay, to make sure this doesn't move around. So line up the holes properly. Copper one goes on top, and the silver one goes at the bottom. Again, finger tight, don't need any tools for this. Oh. Finger tight will do. And the last part, the control box. Okay, so the control box, line it up properly. And not sure if you guys can see it. Oh, okay, screw is stuck here. Let me just get this out. Okay, so if you didn't over tighten anything, then this screw, this top button here, okay, should sit flush. Okay, in fact, it's going to be slightly depressed inside of this control box. If it is jutting out by even a teeny bit, then you have over tightened it, and you want to go back and you want to, you know, unscrew the 2 screws at the back and, you know, loosen them up a bit. Okay, if it does not sit flush or a little slightly depressed like that, then you're going to have troubles installing the clamp card and activating the saber later on. Okay, so let's go ahead and screw back all of these screws here. Okay, bottom screw, tighten this. Okay, these screws you can tighten, because if you don't tighten, then your control box is going to wobble about, which is not what you want. Apologize for all the planes flying past currently. National Day is coming for Singapore, alright. If you guys want to use your NS55 credits on our sabers, I'm very sorry, but we don't offer that right now. Okay, but you can use your GST vouchers to pay for this. Okay, we do accept PayLah, PayNow, or cash. It's totally up to you. Okay, tighten this back in. Remember, the longer part goes on the top and the shorter part goes at the back. Alright, so you want to depress the back part slightly, slide your control card in from the back, and then afterwards screw on the top half. Alright, now let's go ahead and pop in a Xenopixel blade over here. Okay, make sure it is fully seated, and then you want to tighten the screws. Okay, finger tight is enough. Okay, now let's go ahead and activate the saber.
Power on.
And very nice. This is a nice white Mandalorian sound font.
That's a cunning warrior.
Nice blue. Okay, Obi-Wan sound font, very nice. Alright, so for a full list of what our of all our Xenopixel features, okay, on our Xenopixel sabers, you guys can go ahead and check out the video. The card will be linked in the top right corner of the screen. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope this video has helped you guys know how to update your saber, add sound fonts, change blade styles and all that on your saber. If it has, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more tutorials, unboxing and showcases of our different models of sabers. Till the next time, I'm your host Korriban Sabers. Peace out.